The Z-Nail Gang. Actually, sorry, Kylie, did I get that right? Is it Z-Nail or is it Z-Nail? Because it's obviously a New Zealand film.
It's a New Zealand film, so a lot of people say Z-Nail, but we do catch people saying Z-Nail, and in the film itself, one of the actors actually does say the Z-Nail. So, depending on how you pronounce it over to you, we're going with the Z-Nail.
Z-Nail. All right, let's keep it Kiwi, as it's always good to be a little bit patriotic when it comes to films.
Absolutely.
Now, tell me a little bit about it. Sum up. What is the Z-Nail Gang all about?
So the Z-Nail Gang is a film that's inspired by the communities in the Coromandel in the 1980s who decided to band together to fight for what they believed in, which was to have no mining on their peninsula. And Anton, my husband, heard about these stories of protests and the mischief they got up to about 6 years ago, and he just loved two things about the story. One, the comedy angle, just the crazy New Zealand humour stuff that we do, but also the idea of a community uniting together against a common cause, and the different and disparate types of people in a community coming together. And it's pretty important in New Zealand these days, is that unification of people regardless of potentially our differences. So yeah, he wrote a script, and now we did it as a community project and brought it to the big screen.
I find that quite awesome, like how the movie is sort of about community, but at the same time behind the scenes, the whole ethos of the movie was like a community project. How did that work?
Yeah, so what happened was Anton wrote the script about 6 years ago. We sent it off to the Film Commission, who turned it down because it would have cost about $6 million to make, which is an excessive amount of money.
Yeah.
So we shelved it and decided that it wasn't possible at that time. And then I've actually been doing community development work down in the Bay of Plenty with a charitable organisation, and one of the workshops I run is called Asset-Based Community Development, which is all about discovering the gold within you, and discovering the gold in your community, and basically using the resources that you have towards community development objectives. And so in October last year, I basically said to Anton, hey, why don't we actually marry the community development work that I'm doing with your story about community, and rather than make this money with this movie with some money, why don't we try and do the whole thing resourced by a community? So we literally, with our 3.5-year-old son, went for a walk down our little street in Pukekohe and delivered some pamphlets saying who wants to help make a movie. And at the first meeting, we had 12 people come along, and by the end of the movie, we had 60 crew, 30 cast, 150 sponsors, and over 200 extras. And I mean, I tried to do the maths and the credits of how much it would have cost to make the film based on what resource we would donated, and it would have been in the multi-millions. Seriously, big achievement by our community. So very impressive.
That is so inspiring, isn't it? Like just to start out and then to see, hey, actually, there's so many people who are keen to get on board and help out with this.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I guess then last week you had the premiere. So how did it feel for you and Anton turning up at the premiere and being like, oh my gosh, it's been made?
Yeah, it's been really cool. We've had multiple premieres. We're drawing about. We had one down in Te Puke with the community that made it, which was just an incredibly exciting evening. And then we brought it up to Auckland and showed it in Auckland, which has been just great. I mean, I had Judy Bailey and Chris Bailey come along and give their congratulations, and that was just a moment of excitement for me. And then we've also taken it to the Coromandel, where the people that were actually involved in the protests in the 80s were, and that's probably been the most humbling premieres for us so far, is taking it to the people who have really invested their lives into protecting the Coromandel and the environment, and showing it to them, and them just really celebrating their story being celebrated on the big screen.
Got a little bit of an inspiring story at the moment. We're chatting to Kylie, who is one of the producers behind a brand new movie called The Z-Nail Gang, and we've been chatting a little bit about how it's a movie about a community that was actually made by a community, Kylie, and it's quite an inspiring journey that you've been on, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been an amazing thing to see so many people come together with a common vision. And for Anton and I, one of the things that was really important with doing it with our community was we're really about discovering the gold that God's put in each person and celebrating the strengths and the gifts and the talents of individuals. And so for us, it was really an opportunity to give people, a chance to try something different, experiment, have some fun, do it in a learning and supportive environment, and really start celebrating the wider community and what we've all got to give, which was really fun.
So was it a church project? Like, was it just for people in the church to be a part of this, or that wasn't really part of what you were doing?
Oh, no, it wasn't a church project at all. I mean, the number of the families that were involved, we all share a faith together, but no, we didn't do it as a church project, we did it as a community project.
That's cool.
And, but I guess it was really stepping out and testing the realms of the impossible, because we've made a film literally in 10 months from start to finish, which is pretty big, and we had no money to do it. So, for example, in terms of faith, one day in our catering department, we had to find food to feed people for 60 people every day for 24 days. One day we had a fish and chip shop giving us fish and chips for lunch, and Mary, who was our catering, she's a Christian, she was like, oh no, we've got gluten-free people, we don't have any fish to give them because it's all battered. And then the next minute, she just sent up an arrow prayer, and the next minute a guy on a quad bike comes along from the beach and goes, hey, heard you guys are making a movie, do you guys want the fresh fish that I caught? Bang, we've got fresh fish for our gluten-free people. So God really pulled out some awesome stops on the journey. It was very cool.
I love that story, how you were saying before, if you'd done it normally, it would have been like a $6 million movie, but at the same time, you've had it all provided and donated, and you've got this amazing finished movie right now. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it is. It's been cool.
Right, so the movie is in Auckland on Thursday.
Yes, Thursday. Two cinemas at this stage. You're in the Bridgeway on the North Shore and in the Monterey over in Howick. And we will be on Waiheke come the 28th.
Cool. I hear there's a great movie theatre over in Waiheke.
Yeah, cool little community theatre. And then it's around the rest of New Zealand on the 28th of August. So in lots of little provincial towns all around New Zealand.
I guess if people want to find out more, they can check out the www.znailgang.net.nz. I keep doing the American pronunciation for a New Zealand movie. It's terrible. And also, I see you guys are on Facebook as well.
Yep, Facebook, and really keen to get people's help with sharing the trailer, sharing the website, because we've got no marketing budget, so we're really relying on everybody out there to get in behind it and spread the word.
All right, fantastic. Well, if people are interested in getting in touch with you guys, maybe to do their own screenings, can they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we've done it as a community thing and we're self-distributing, we've got little community groups out on the West Coast next week doing some screenings themselves and some people using it for fundraisers. So really happy for anyone to touch base and just let us know. We just want communities out there to see it and celebrate.
Brilliant. Kylie, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, and I look forward to checking out the movie.
Cool, thanks Ash, appreciate it.